Alabama Ole Miss this weekend in a big one. How confident are you?
You are Locked On Bama, your daily podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back into Locked On Bama. Luke Robinson, that's me. Jimmy Stein, that's him. Got a big one this weekend, Jimmy. This episode is brought to you by LinkedIn. I'll talk about LinkedIn here in just a minute. But, man, this Ole Miss game is going to be huge. And here's what's weird. Just about any other time, this would be the biggest game of the day. It is such an enormous day with Florida State, Clemson, Auburn, Texas A&M. Auburn, Texas A&M in big nationally, but for just SEC people is huge. And then you roll into Alabama, Ole Miss, and you think, hey, clearly that's the best 2:30 game, right? Well, Colorado and Oregon are playing, and they're getting all the eyeballs. So that's just the way it is, except my eyeballs, because I'll actually be at the game, and I know you will be too. Super, super excited about this contest. I'm now officially nervous about this game. It's all I can do to keep from picking an Ole Miss win. You'll have to wait and see who I pick. But, Jimmy, I think what we're going to do now is do predictions for player performances. And since we know that Jalen Milroe will be the starting quarterback, how do you think he's going to perform? Let me give you a few over-unders, and you give me some rationale. Over-under 200.
All right.
Over-under 200 yards passing.
Over. Georgia Tech and Haynes King threw for over 300. I don't think this Ole Miss DB group is super special. I don't think their defense is super special. I don't think this is going to be a game where Milroe passes anyone crazy. I do think he will have some massive statistical performances this season at some point. Don't know if it's going to be, this week, but yeah, I like over 200 yards for sure. That wide receiver group has played really well. People aren't talking about that enough, but who would guess? I would even go this far, Luke. I think 3 weeks into the season, the best group on offense is the wide receivers.
Wow. Yeah, I'm tempted to still say running back only because Roydell Williams played so well against South Florida. I'm tempted to. But then I think about how poorly the running backs for the most part have blocked on blitzes, and there have been a ton of blitzes. So I think you may be right.
It's a problem, and that's got to get better. But, yeah, I think that wide receiver group's played well. Isaiah Bond has turned a corner. Jermaine Burton is a really good player. Malik Benson's coming on. Kobe Prentice is a volume pass receiver. And a guy we hadn't even heard from yet, Ja'Cory Brooks. I refuse to believe Ja'Cory Brooks won't end up having a pretty good season. So, yeah, I like Milroe over 200. I don't know about 300, but I like it over 200.
It is weird because Ja'Cory Brooks and Jimmy Hoffa have about the same football statistics this year.
Yeah.
I mean, both of them are missing.
I think what happened with Ja'Cory is, he got suspended literally. He was in the doghouse. So he missed the whole first half versus Middle Tennessee. And then South Florida, I mean, I think we only really completed one really good ball all day. That was to a tight end.
That's right.
So really, Ja'Cory Brooks has only had the second half of Middle Tennessee in the Texas game to rack up stats. So we'll see. I think Brooks will have a coming out party. He's a good player. We already know he's a good player. That's what's frustrating to me when fans get on kids and think they've regressed. That really doesn't happen a lot. I just think with Ja'Cory, it's been opportunity, and let's credit some of the other wide receivers for, Isaiah Bond's eating into his snaps. Kobe Prentice eats into his snaps. Malik Benson eats into his snaps. So that's what's happening here.
And it is weird because, I know C.J. Dupree had the long catch, and it was nice. It was a great catch, good pass, all that against South Florida. But I would say C.J. Dupree and Ja'Cory Brooks have been about as popular as Pavlov's cat, before just now. So for people who don't know much about psychology, that's a great joke that I just laid. Feel free to use it. Yeah, I was thinking about it in advance. I'm sorry. I thought that thing would be gangbusters, Jimmy. I expected you to do one of your head throwbacks, and I didn't get it.
No.
You didn't like that, huh?
No. Pavlov's cat. No. I think it's too. I think it's just
too specific.
It's
too educational.
You have to really know Pavlov's dog. before you can make the leap to the Pavlov cat thing being
ding,
funny.
ding, ding,
Yep.
ding.
Yeah, right.
There's another joke in there with the Pavlov in the ring and
Boy, you have spent a lot of time on Pavlov.
I know we're doing.
Does he write for Lindy's or Athlons?
No, but let me tell you this. This is true. When I was at Alabama, I took a psychology class, and the teacher was teaching us all about Pavlov and the effects of, trying to tie it in with marketing and whatever. And he said, so the Pavlov, you had the rings, you condition them for the bells and then the rings. And then they, the dogs, they would salivate because they knew the food was coming. And they said, so it's sort of like the same thing when you're trying to sell, a Coca-Cola and you put Cindy Crawford up there in a bikini, what happens? And I raised my hand and said, salivation. And she was like, no, I meant for you that you purchased the Coke, but that's not bad. And so anyway, anywho,
I think Cindy Crawford sold Pepsi products.
Well, I didn't care what she was. I would have bought.
I'm trying to be as specific as you were about Pavlov's pet situation. I think Cindy Crawford hawked Pepsi in her day. I could be wrong.
No, I think you're right. Anywho, so all right, over under then, if we're going to talk about receivers like this, over under total catches by receivers, 9.5.
Oh, by receivers. So you're not.
Now, see, that's where I'm getting you because I'm not including tight ends and running backs.
Over.
Whoa. Okay.
I like that wide receiver crew, and I like Milroe to have. I think Milroe has his best game Saturday, but it won't be jaw-dropping. It'll just be like, hey, did anyone notice that was Jalen's best? It'll be kind of one of those, hey, that was his best game. And it won't be people going, oh, my. It won't be the overreaction to week one and literally where there was in the far nethers of the universe Heisman talk after his performance against Middle Tennessee. I don't think it'll be like that, but I think it'll be, all right, I was probably, when you factor in the opponent, his best game.
Okay, then, all right, turnovers by Alabama over under 1.5.
I'll go over.
The dead silence is bad for our audio crew.
I know, but the question is so good. People have to understand how good these questions are. That was a good question. Because
I think it's
that was a good question. It's because I'm going to go 2, but I'm going to go a Milroe interception and a fumble by someone, not Milroe, a rando fumbler.
Finally, in terms of this is a true false. We have a running back go over 100 yards, or any player, including Milroe, go over 100 yards.
Rushing. False. No.
Yeah.
False.
Now, let me throw out a few other stats here. Now, let's keep in mind, Jalen Milroe didn't play in the third game, as we all have discussed ad nauseum. But Jackson Dart has 852 yards passing. Milroe has 449. So, yeah, that seems like a huge disparity. But if you assume Milroe would have gotten 200 against South Florida, which I don't think is crazy, I think all of a sudden you're like, given the amount of times Ole Miss throws the ball, I think that's not bad. But then think about this. Milroe has 27 completions. Jackson Dart has 45. I feel like it should be more than that in favor of Dart. It's it's a good bit more, but it feels like considering Milroe missed a game, it should be more.
Yeah. I mean, what would the stats look like is instead of Milroe not playing against South Florida, that he did get to play against Mercer.
Yeah.
Then and that's what Jackson Dart's got, Now, I will say this, Ole Miss, I think their schedule of playing Tulane and Georgia Tech is laudable. I mean, that's a solid non-conference schedule for Ole Miss. That's not, they played a top 25 team and another Power 5 team. That's not bad. But they did throw in their Mercer game. I mean, let's see what Milroe's numbers might be against an FCS team. We saw what it was against Middle Tennessee.
Well, let's go ahead and Jimmy, and what we're going to do is give our predictions for the score when we come back. But right now I need to fill everybody in on LinkedIn. You know how much I love LinkedIn. You all love LinkedIn. You should love LinkedIn. It's fantastic. It's the best place to go if you're hiring. And Lord knows we're all hiring right now. I can tell you, I'm driving all over the state of Alabama because we're hiring and I'm having to do some things myself. And Lord knows we don't want me doing things myself. I should figure out a better way to phrase that. These days, every new potential hire can feel like a high stakes wager for your small business. You want to be 100% certain that you have access to the best qualified candidates available. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the right people for your team and helps you find them faster and for free. We love LinkedIn Jobs over here at Robinson Iron. All you got to do, go to LinkedIn Jobs, add your job in the purple hashtag hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile to spread the word that you are, yes, hiring. Simple tools like screening questions make it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience so you can quickly prioritize who you'd like to interview and who you'd like to ultimately hire. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the qualified candidates you want and helps you find them faster. As Walgreens is calling me for no reason, probably asking for LinkedIn. Hey, Walgreens, listen, post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. That's linkedin.com/lockedoncollege to post your job for free. Terms and conditions may, and I bet they do, apply. Also got back-to-back live reads here, y'all. That's when you know things are getting hot and heavy in college football season. DoorDash. Love DoorDash. Used DoorDash last night. As a matter of fact, didn't even know they were a sponsor yet. And I used them last night. Wish I had known because, I would have appreciated that. Look, if you're missing syrup for your pancakes or you just ran out of your favorite coffee creamer with DoorDash grocery delivery, you can get what you want. You can get it right when you need it, and you don't got to go to the grocery store. Lord knows I hate going to the grocery store. It is rough. Love the convenience of getting what you want right to your door with DoorDash grocery delivery. You can stock up for the week or order last-minute cravings. Look, you got people coming over, and you're like, oh, my God, I forgot the salt. How do I not have salt? Well, you just call DoorDash. I'll bring you some salt over there. Need some fresh groceries for the week, but don't have time to go to the store? Try grocery delivery from DoorDash. You'll get everything you want delivered when you need it right to your door. You've trusted DoorDash to deliver your restaurant favorites, and now you can trust them for your grocery deliveries. Get 50% off your first DoorDash order up to a $20 value when you use code LOCKEDONCollege at checkout. Wish I'd known that last night. Limited time offer. Terms apply. That's 50% off up to $20. No minimum subtotal and 0 delivery fees on your first order. Oh, my gosh. When you download the DoorDash app in the App Store and enter code LOCKEDONCollege, don't forget that's code LOCKEDONCollege for 50% off your first order with DoorDash. All right, Jimmy, the floor is yours. My prediction length will be based upon your rant. So rant as long as you want to, because I already have my score and I can just throw it out there at the end. But I want you to have all the time you need, honey.
Sure. First, I want to throw in that DoorDash, former employer of Bryce Young. Bryce Young worked for DoorDash as a freshman here at Alabama in the year pre-NIL. If you remember, Bryce got here before NIL and then flourished under NIL rules, but worked for DoorDash in Tuscaloosa in between when he was the backup quarterback to Mac Jones. Always find that very funny. All right, so thanks for DoorDash for hiring Bryce. Prediction for Ole Miss. This is news because, I make a prediction early in the week for BOL and we all submit our prediction. And that's always fascinating to me because I'm always curious as to what my compatriots over there think, Clint, Travis, and them. And I went on BOL. I'll tell you guys right now that I went 24-21 Alabama. And I've sort of loved that score since about Monday when I came up with that. And I do a little research and spend some time. I spend more time on it than you might think. It's not just a gut call, although it's partly that. And I just like Alabama to win the game because I think defensively it's not so much confidence in this new offense with Jalen Milroe so much as it's confidence in the defense. Last 2 years we've played Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss. We've held them in this area, 24, 21 points. And I think this defense we have this year is even better. I think this is an improved Alabama defense over what we've seen recently. And behind that improved Alabama defense, I like holding them to 21 or 24. The ask is, can Alabama score 24 or more? That's the ask. They hit 24 against Texas. I don't think Ole Miss is as good defensively as Texas is. So I do like Alabama scoring 24. On BOL, I said 24-21 because that's a score I liked earlier in the week. But as time has gone on, I like this game even a little more for Alabama as I've studied Ole Miss more, particularly defensively. And so I'm changing my pick that's on POL from 24-21. I hate doing that. I don't think I've ever done that before. So I hate that I'm doing this, but I just honestly feel a little differently than I did at the time I came up with that. I got Alabama winning, Luke, 27-21 on Saturday. It won't be a blowout. It's going to be pretty tight. But when the game's over, I feel like I'm going to be telling you guys that was a good win. I know it wasn't pretty. It wasn't beautiful. That wasn't Alabama, the college football playoff team. But that was a good win because not many teams in the SEC are going to beat Ole Miss this year. Some will, but not many. I think this is a 5-3 Ole Miss team in this league, even playing in the SEC West, Luke. So I've got Alabama winning 27-21 with a game whose outcome is going to look better and better as the season progresses.
I'm understanding you. I hear you. I think if the game is that low scoring, I lean Ole Miss. I don't know why. I just do. I feel like Alabama's got to score more against Pete Golding. For the love of God, if Pete Golding holds us under 30, I mean, can you imagine the meltdowns? So, and here's the other thing. Look, history is, you always hear those who don't study history are doomed to repeat it. But I think you can also usually throw out a lot of history. But I'm looking at this. Ole Miss's longest win streak against Alabama. Do you know what that is? Just throwing that out there. What's their longest win streak against Alabama?
2.
1. They've never beaten us twice. They've only beaten us 10 times ever.
Well, before 1992, when the divisions were created, we didn't play them every single year. We played them a lot, but it wasn't like Mississippi State, who we've played every year since. I think it was about 2 presidents after Lincoln. We
right before Pavlov. But no, so they've only won 10 times ever. We've won 54, 2 ties. And I get it, man. I'm reading Barrett Sallee on CBS. I'm reading people on ESPN. I'm reading all these folks saying, "Hey, Alabama, I think the wrong team's favored, yada yada yada." I'm going to pick Alabama 31-30. Now, it sounds like
31-30.
After all that preamble I laid out there, that Alabama's going to beat them worse. I feel like it's going to be a close game. Alabama's going to be sort of in control, but at the same time, not like blowing them out ever. And it's just going to end up being a 31-30 game. And I will take it, 100% take it. This team needs a confidence boost badly. This quarterback needs a confidence boost badly. The offensive line needs a confidence boost badly. The receiving corps, the whole offense. I mean, the defense has been okay. It hadn't been as fantastic as we thought it'd be, but the offense really needs a shot in the arm. And I'm hoping they get it this week. Again, I'm with you. Sort of a gut feeling, sort of math, sort of history. I'm going to take Alabama to win by 31-30. All right, Jimmy, when we come back, we're going to go around the SEC and talk about some of the games out there that, it is just a massive week for college football. So we'll talk about that when we come back. But right now, I need to tell everybody about FanDuel. And as soon as I find it, I'm going to tell you about it. FanDuel, as soon as I find this overlay, that's another thing I got to find. There it is right there. Let's hope it comes up. It does. FanDuel, FanDuel.com/lockedon. Snap into action in the NFL this season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place $5 bet. That's so good. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/lockedon, FanDuel.com/lockedon. FanDuel is an official partner of the NFL. Visit FanDuel.com and include money lines. You can check out money lines, props, whatever you want to. That's FanDuel.com/lockedon, official partner of the NFL. All right, Jimmy, a massive, massive week in college football. I'm so excited about this week.
Do you know it's the most matchups of top 25 teams playing each other since 2019? And,
really?
And from any week, not just week 4, ever. It's the most matchups of top 25 teams playing each other. And what's more impressive than even that, Luke, is how many of these games are great that aren't matchups of top 25 teams playing each other. For instance, the 6 top 25 matchups don't even count Florida State versus Clemson, which is huge, and Auburn versus Texas A&M, and BYU's playing somebody interesting, and Missouri Memphis is even interesting to us SEC fans, and stuff like that. And BYU's playing at Kansas, by the way. So yeah, I'm excited about this weekend, big time. Put new batteries in the remote, people.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, look, it's one of those things where I'm going to the Alabama game. I'm sitting in a box. I'm thrilled. I'm not. It's just I know it's a mild flex there, but I just got
brag.
lucky. But part of me is like, I kind of want to be at my house. I got one of those setups like 3 TVs. I just bought YouTube TV too, and I got Direct TV still because I'm an idiot. And I like just throwing money up a pig's boo honkus. But I'm going to say I kind of wish I was at home watching all these games. But anyway, so let's start with Auburn, Texas A&M, because I think that's an interesting game. That's going to be a lot of fun. I think Texas A&M covers, and I think that this is one of those come down to earth games for Auburn. I think Jimbo Fisher needs this game so badly, and Hugh Freeze doesn't. Hugh Freeze could lose this game 40-0. Everybody's still going to love Hugh Freeze, so I think it's much more important that Texas A&M get the win.
Yeah, I got A&M big in this. I think A&M by a lot because Connor Wigman's just better than Peyton Thorne by a lot. And it's at home, so I like A&M big. Just everybody needs to understand that when I say A&M big over Auburn, please understand that every season, without fail, like clockwork, I overestimate Texas A&M and I underestimate Auburn. That is a thing with me, and I do that every year. So, yeah, I got A&M big. Of course I do.
There are no worse predictors of Auburn football than Alabama fans. Either way.
That's probably true, but it's definitely true of me. I'm the first to admit that I underestimate how good Auburn is pretty much annually, and I overestimate how good A&M is. My buddy Gary smartly points out he's like, it was because you're so into recruiting. You know more players that play for A&M than you do for Auburn.
That is true.
Because that's a good explanation.
And it's very fair. And, because I think Lane Kiffin actually had something interesting it came out on Twitter where he said, look, Alabama doesn't even recruit most of our guys. We only have one linebacker, a freshman that they went after last year, talking about Suntarian Perkins. And he said, otherwise, we don't have anybody that they even want. And that's not totally true, but it ain't
that's
totally
not really. I get what he's saying, and I'm not saying Lane, that's such an exaggerate, but it's context, and it's not wrong, but it's not right. Their defensive lineman played for us for 3 or 4 years. Stephon Wynn, a starting defensive tackle for them, was literally playing for Alabama for 3 or 4 years before he left. Hey, don't tell Jalen Milroe or Nick Saban I said this, but if they want to trade quarterbacks, I'll take it. I mean, for all this, they're big, bad Alabama, we got nothing. Hey, you want to trade? And by the way, I'm not taking a shot at Milroe. That's me complimenting Jackson Dart, who I think is one heck of a player. Their running back's better than our running back. I mean, if he's healthy, I'm just being honest. Quinshon Judkins is a better player than the Alabama running backs, Rodell Williams and Jase McClellan.
He's not going to be better than Justice Haynes. He's not. I refuse to believe it.
Okay. Maybe he won't be long term, but he is now. But I'm just saying that statement by Lane, and plus he's got Michael Trigg out of the portal. Trigg's a 5-star tight end, literally a 5-star. Obviously we wanted Perkins. We'd take that pass rusher too. Hey, if they want to ship Cedric Johnson, who's from Mobile, Alabama, to Tuscaloosa, we'll take him. Heck of a player. He's going to play in the NFL.
All right.
So
we got to zip.
That was just, oh yeah.
We got to zip through this.
Upset me with that thing.
All right. LSU, Arkansas. Any chance for Arkansas?
LSU wins, but it's tight.
I'm with you. I'm 100% with you. I think people are too high on the LSU train, and people are downplaying Arkansas. I think this is a game Arkansas covers that spread.
Yep.
I'm not going to talk about Georgia and UAB or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
I will talk about Oregon, Colorado. Look, I think this could be the come to Jesus moment. I've been wrong on Colorado all year, but I think Oregon takes care of business. I think Bo Nix tries to make a statement for the Heisman. Oregon
wins. It's going to be a fun game to watch because I think both teams are going to score quite a bit of points. And for Alabama fans out there who just think Bo Nix is the thing, how about this meeting up the matchup of the minds, Deion Sanders and that Shedeur Sanders fun offense against Oregon defensive coordinator Tosh Lupoy.
Wow. I wish, boy,
how about that?
How about bring me some Tosh back? Anywho, and finally, we'll do this one last. Florida State, Clemson, Jimmy. I'm going to call it. Clemson wins.
I'm glad you said that. Florida State's better, and Florida State's on fire, and Clemson's literally on fire, but the bad fire. You know, it's like Florida State, they're hot, they're on fire. Clemson's on fire, and it's like, put it out.
Yeah.
That's bad. But yeah, I like Dabo and little old Clemson. I think little old Clemson has been disrespected, and they find a way. Hey, if Florida State wins this game, Luke, you might start pouring one out for Dabo. I mean, I don't know if we'll see Clemson back among the national elite under Dabo if Florida State wins this game.
I want to see us pour one out for Peter Woods in the transfer portal. Anywho, that's going to do it for today's podcast. We'll be back sometime either late Saturday or early Sunday. One of those two. We don't know which one yet. One of those two. Hey, man, thank you guys a ton. We love y'all so much. Y'all have been awesome. We're almost to 7,000 subscribers on YouTube, and y'all are just the best, and we appreciate you. Even when you disagree with us, and I know y'all have disagreed with us a lot lately, and we don't care. We just want to keep the conversation rolling. We appreciate you guys a ton. I know I'm speaking for Jimmy here, and yeah, we love it. This has been a ton of fun. Thank you. Can't wait to talk about this victory on Saturday or Sunday. And until then, roll tide, everybody.
Roll tide.